Hi guys, it's Amy with A2Z Stamping, and today I wanted to do a card using the Swirly Bird Stamp set. This is a really fun stamp set, and it has coordinating thinlits that are a lot of fun too, so we're going to use those. There are no sentiments, so I'm going to grab a sentiment from a different stamp set, but I made a really fun and kind of whimsical card, which is kind of what this stamp set's all about. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and I want to emboss one side of it. So I'm going to grab my Big Shot here. Okay. And to emboss, I want to use my regular Big Shot platform and a standard cutting plate. And I'm going to use this embossing folder here. I can't remember what it's called. It's at the bottom of your screen. So this one's just a little half embossing folder. And I only want to emboss up to about the 4th little vine from the right. So the left side of my Whisper White. All right. And I'm going to lay that on there. And then put my top plate and run it through. Sorry, you're going to look at my hand for a second. All right. And let me move my Big Shot out of the way. So it looks just like that. Pretty, right? Okay. It's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. We'll work with it. I think I moved it when I set it down. All right. Next thing we want to do is let's do the rest of our embossing work. So I want to cut out these 2 thinlits from the Swirly, what are they called? They're called the Swirly Scribbles Thinlits. I'm doing the big one. I think this one kind of looks like a pumpkin, but the big one, and then this medium-sized one. And we're going to cut these out in Mango Melody and Lemon Lime Twist. So I'll grab my Big Shot again. And this time I'm going to grab the magnetic platform and a cutting plate. And then we can do them both at the same time. So I'm going to put this one in, let's see, this one we'll do right here. And this one will fit right here. And, whoops, top plate. And we're gonna run them through. Crank, crank, crank. All right, and that's it. So again, move this out of my way. And here we go. So when I'm done with these, you see the paper's all still stuck in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my die brush. It comes with this mat and this little brush, and then you just lay it on here and you run this over it, and it'll pop all the little pieces out for you. So we got that one. So see, it pops right out. And this guy right here. And don't worry, you won't hurt it at all. That is exactly what this is for. If you don't have the die brush, you can take like a paper piercing tool and you would just pop all the little pieces out. So see, I still have one more piece here and this little piece. All right, so throw those away. This goes in the trash, the little scraps, and I'm done with that. Okay, so I'm left with these 2 guys. All right, so now let's grab our card back out. Now I want to also do a little bit of stamping. So I have powder pink ink, Poppy Parade, and Cajun Craze. I know, kind of an interesting color combination, but you know, it worked for me. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually start with the Poppy Parade. And I'm gonna stamp the big swirl. Ink that up. And these are photopolymer, so I'm gonna stick a mat underneath just so they stamp a little bit nicer. All right, so I got this all inked up. And I want it to go right in the middle, so I'm going to stamp this one right here. Isn't that so cool? And let me grab my chamois, just so I can clean these off as I go. All right, then I'm going to grab, that's all I need of the Poppy Parade, so I'll close it before I get ink on me. Then I'm going to grab the powder pink. And I want to stamp the solid. Let me show you guys on here. So I just did this one. Now I want to stamp this solid guy in powder pink. Ink that up. We're going to put this guy right up here. Pretty. Okay, clean that off. And that's all I need in the powder pink. Then I'm gonna grab the Cajun Craze, and I'm gonna do the swirl, this guy right here. And I'm gonna stamp that right over this. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment also in Cajun Craze. So let me do that right now while I have it out. So I grabbed the, sorry guys, see my arms. I grabbed the Bella and Friends stamp set because I wanted to do the sentiment. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I've got that right here inked up. Don't need my mat anymore. And I've just got this little tiny piece of Whisper White cardstock. What size is this? This is 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. And I'm going to do my best to get this right in the center. Make sure this is nice and inked up. Should be. But remember, every piece of paper has 2 sides, so we can always do it again if we need to. I'm going to get this lined up best I can and stamp. That looks perfect. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Clean that off. Close up my ink. Okay, I'm going to grab out my trio punch here because I want to round the corners of this just to kind of go with the whimsy there. So if I feed this in, it should still work just fine. Just go ahead and feed it into both the little notches. 1, 2, 3. Make sure with the trio punch that you're always pressing in the center, not on the picture of what you're doing. So remember the, oops, I didn't do that one right, did I? I always have trouble with this last one right here. Okay, the trio punch has a corner rounder. It has this this corner right here does this cute little like flower in the corners, and this here does an oval circle, like if you wanted to thread ribbon through it or something. So now I've rounded my corners, and it looks just like this. Okay, so now we can finish putting this part of our card together. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat, because we're going to do a little bit of gluing, and I'm going to grab my multi-purpose glue. I'm going to use the thinner end, the finer end, and I'm just going to stick pretty much in all the thick places just so this can stick down and not pop up at all. And this guy here. Okay. And close that up. I always store it down so that the glue is always at the tip that I want. I have 2 of them, and I store one with the fine tip down and one with the wide tip down. Grab this. So this one's going to go right here over the top of this. And this guy's going to go all on his own right here. Okay, done with my mat. Then I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to stick a couple of dimensionals. I can figure out what I did with them. Here they are. I'm going to stick some dimensionals on the back. And this guy is going to go right here. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to grab the, what do we call these? The foam adhesive strips. So they come in these long strips because I want this to pop up. So what I do is I take them, and I've cut them with my scissors in half because I don't need them the full length. And I'm going to line them up close to the edge, and I want to do all 4 sides. So let me take a peek here what I want to do. I want to grab this one. And I need 2 more. You could do this with dimensionals. If you don't have the foam strips, you could just put a whole bunch of dimensionals along here. And I need, this one's a little bit longer than I need, so I'm going to cut it off. And 1 more. So anyway, you could put dimensionals all around the edges, but I like using the foam strips because I've got them, and that's what they're there for. Okay, cut this one off. And I'm actually just going to stick a couple of these little extra pieces that I have right here in the center just to keep it from caving in the middle. All right, so let's pull our backing off all of these. So 4 sides. We've got 1, 2, and it's very sticky. Try not to stick to myself. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So I'm going to set that aside, and for my card base, I'm using a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock. It's cut at 4 1/4 by 11. So I'm just going to fold that in half and grab my bone folder. Get a nice crisp fold, and then this is going to go right over the top, like so. Don't want it to be crooked. Looks good. And that is my card. Isn't that so cute? Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's just whimsical and colorful and fun. And here's one I did earlier. It is exactly the same. Isn't that so cute? So anyway, I hope you'll check out the Swirly Bird Stamp Set and the coordinating Swirly Scribbles Thinlits dies. There's a lot of fun you could do with these. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video and that you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.